Country Cookin. I'm your hostess, Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we'll be making squaw point pork chops with lemon dill sauce, twice baked Parmesan chive potatoes, baked corn and sour cream, and German chocolate cheesecake. So we're going to start with the dill sauce because we're going to marinate the pork in that. So we need 6 tablespoons of mayonnaise. Six tablespoons of sour cream, 1 we're going to add a half cup of lemon juice. See if I can clean this off enough to dip into my Dijon mustard. I better wash it. Right. Okay, we're going to add a teaspoon of coarsely ground black pepper, and we need 8 teaspoons of fresh dill, and I have washed it and chopped it very fine. If you don't have access to fresh dill, or if it's off season, just use the dill in the jar. You're still going to get the flavor. It's just a little bit more aromatic using the fresh dill than using the prepackaged. So if you have the opportunity to grab some fresh dill, that's what you would want to prefer. Just whisk it together till everything is combined. Now I have pork chops. Actually, they're pork tenderloins. And we'll put them in our pan, and then we're going to pour half of the sauce over the top. And actually, if you need a little bit more, there's plenty of sauce to do a few more. I'm just following the recipe, but there'd be plenty of sauce if you want to do 6 or 8 or whatever. So you take about half of the sauce and pour it over the chops. And if you can get a hold of pork chops, that's great. I have trouble finding nice thick pork chops, so I buy the pork tenderloin. I kind of flip it over so everything gets coated like this. gonna cover that and put it in the refrigerator and let it marinate for a little while. You can even do this in the morning or whatever, or early afternoon if you're grilling for company in the evening. But you want to give it, you know, an hour or two at least, so that the flavors kind of penetrate the meat. I'm going to pop this in the refrigerator and we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Blazing fast broadband internet from Valley is now available and better than ever. Let us help you decide which speed is best for you. The 50 meg speed would be sufficient for 1 to 4 devices, mainly emailing and surfing the web. Our 100 meg speed works great for 5 to 8 devices and multiple users streaming and downloading video. If you have 8 devices or more that are simultaneously streaming or gaming, or if you have a medium-sized business, the 250 meg speed would work best for you. For extreme heavy home or work from home use, or if you have a medium to large business using 15 or more devices, you may want to consider our 500 meg download speed to fit your needs. And if you're a home or business that needs it all, we have our 1000 meg, 1 gig broadband internet speed. Call our office today at 437-2615 and talk with one of our staff members to pick the speed that's best for you.
Okay, we're going to start working on the German chocolate cheesecake. The nice thing about this cheesecake is you don't need to have a springform pan. Just do it in a 9x13 pan, and it slices into squares nicely, so it's easy to serve, and it doesn't use so much cream cheese, so it's not that expensive to make. And I think it's a nice thing to have on hand. You can have it in the refrigerator and serve it whenever. So we'll start with the crust. It takes 1 German chocolate cake mix. To that, we're going to add 1/3 cup of softened butter or margarine. I use butter. And 1 egg. You want to make sure that you mix it well so that you don't have any spots that are just powdery. We're pouring it in a 9x13 ungreased pan. Spread it out and pat it down. Another thing about this dessert is it's one that you can make up in advance, even days in advance. Sometimes if you're entertaining or you've got company coming and the last minute you're always in such a hurry getting everything else done, so it's nice to have something done a little bit in advance. Okay, so we're going to mix 2 8-ounce cream cheese. I'm gonna, let's see, use this bowl here. 3/4 cup of sugar, 2 eggs, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm gonna rinse these off and we're gonna use the mixer on that. You want to beat this until it's fluffy, so we'll give it some time. Here again, you just gotta be patient. Sometimes you get in a hurry and you think, it's good enough. Just be patient, give it some time to really fluff up. Good. Okay, now we're going to spread this over the top of the crust. I've preheated the oven to 350. So we're going to bake it then for about anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes. You can keep your eye on it. This actually is one of those cheesecakes that even someone that's not a huge fan of cheesecake will like. Even my husband, who's not a big cheesecake person, really likes this dessert. Having trouble filling that corner. There you go. Okay, so it looks like this. We're gonna pop in the oven. We'll take a break and clean up. We'll be right back. Okay, we're working on the corn now. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter that's melting in the pan. And to that I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of finely chopped onion. And you want to cook this just until it's a little bit translucent. I want to remind you, as usual, if you want a copy of any of these recipes that we're making today, if you don't have internet, give the girls at Valley a call. They'll be happy to help you with a copy of the recipe. If you do have internet, you can go to the Valley homepage, www.valleytel.net. Look for the Country Cookin' column on the right-hand side of the screen. You'll find all the recipes there. Now I'm using frozen corn, but this time of the year where you have a lot of corn, if you've processed your own, go ahead and use that. It'll work beautifully. This is just a little bit of a variation on a creamed corn. It won't be as sweet as a cream style corn, but it's just a little bit of a variation on that. We'll give this just about another minute. Okay, to this I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Half teaspoon of salt. Just going to cook that just a minute so that the flour kind of blends away. I have 2 tablespoons of finely chopped celery. Toss that in. And a pound and a half of corn. Okay, I have a cup of sour cream that I'm going to blend in. We'll take a little break while I'm waiting for this to kind of cook down a little bit. We'll be right back.
Valley is now offering updated digital TV packages and prices. Ask us about the brand new Choice TV package. Call Valley today at 437-2615.
To the mixture now I'm going to add, I've cooked and crumbled 6 strips of bacon. We're going to add half of it into the corn right now. Stir it in. Okay, we're going to pour it into an 8x8. The remaining bacon and 2 tablespoons of freshly minced parsley. If you don't have fresh, you can use the parsley in a jar. Just this time of the year, I still have things in my garden that I can use. We're going to put this in the oven. We're going to bake it at 350 for about 45 minutes. We're going to get going on the twice baked potatoes. I have a medium-sized kettle on the stove here. We'll get it going on about medium. And to that, we're going to put a half cup of butter and 1 cup of milk. And we're going to heat those up. I have I pre-baked my potatoes just to save us some time today, and I've hollowed them out to about 1/4 of an inch inside the shell. And the nice thing about twice baked potatoes, as you know, is something that you can make ahead of time also, and then bake them when you need them. Also, you can freeze them, and so they're just a real practical thing to have on hand. So we're going to wait for that to heat up. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay, we've got our milk and butter hot, so I'm going to pour it over the potatoes and beat it. Now while I'm beating this, I'm going to add 2 whole eggs. Those are going to help fluff it up a little bit. I have a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese here. Adding that. Okay, now if you have chives yet in your yard, you want to use chives for this. If you don't, green onions will work just fine. This is a 1/2 cup of green onions. I'm going to whip those in. Then we need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Half teaspoon of pepper, an 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg, Okay, we're going to fill the potato shells. If you have the small dishes, you don't have to use the shells, but sometimes I think the shells make it just a little fun. It's kind of like eating pumpkin soup out of a pumpkin or something like that. But it just look a little more festive. I remember when I was young and my parents had the restaurant, Helen's California Kitchen. I remember for special ladies' luncheons, they would do something like this. Twice baked potatoes wasn't something they normally had on the menu, but I always was intrigued by them. I always thought they looked so pretty, and it just was kind of fun to see that you take something out and then you mix things in and make it better. And normally, like on twice baked potatoes, you use something like a cheddar cheese, where these have Parmesan cheese inside. We're also going to top them with a little bit of a Parmesan cheese so it gets a little bit of a crust on it. And we'll sprinkle it with nutmeg, and that'll give a little more color. I'm gonna have a little bit left over, but that's all right. Don't be tempted to overfill them, because they'll run over and they won't look as nice. Just heat it up in the microwave and eat it later on with something else. Okay, so they look like that. We're going to sprinkle about another 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese over the top. I'm just going to kind of eye it a little bit and just kind of go over the tops. Take the paprika, and you don't want to overdo that either. You want to kind of just give it some color. So they look like that, and we're gonna pop them in the oven. We're gonna bake them at 350 for about a half an hour.
Internet is here. Valley now has higher broadband speeds of up to 1 gigabit. Get the bandwidth you need for all your devices at one time. Gaming with no lag time. Video stream your favorite movies instantly in HD quality. Video chat with friends and family without interruption. Download your favorite music and photos in seconds. All on our 100% fiber optics network. Valley offers managed Wi-Fi and backup services too, bringing together all the services you need. Valley Telecommunications Cooperative.
Okay, we're gonna make the topping for the cheesecake. I'm taking 2 cups of sour cream. A 1/4 cup of sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla. Do is spread it over the cheesecake. I'm going to get another spatula. If you want to decorate this up, you can. I just serve it as it is because most cheesecakes just have the sour cream topping on it. But if you want to do some cheese curls or, chocolate curls or something like that, you can do that. You can even, since it's called German chocolate cheesecake, if you want to toast some coconut and put that over the top, you can do that, or both. But I usually just serve it like this. Okay, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and get it chilled. We've got the tenderloins on the grill, so it won't be long. We'll be ready to eat. Be right back. Okay, everything is done, so we're gonna grab it out. This is how the corn looks. Of course, if you're entertaining and you aren't serving the plates, you want to put this on a nicer serving platter, but well, and depending on how big of a party you're having, you make a nice crispy salad with it. And now, this is the dill sauce, and you would serve that on the side. This is the dill sauce that it marinated in. You want to discard that, but this is the other dill sauce. So there we go. We have our Squaw Point pork chops with lemon dill sauce, our twice baked Parmesan chive potatoes, baked corn and sour cream, and German chocolate cheesecake. Thank you for joining us today on this edition of Country Cookin'. We hope to see you next time.